Daily Detroit is brought to you by the community. Support our work at patreon.com/dailydetroit.
Hello and welcome to a Friday edition of your Daily Detroit for November 13th, 2020.
That's not foreboding at all, Jer.
I'm Jer Stays, and that voice you hear, she's out from behind the editing desk.
I'm finally free. I'm Shianne Nocerini. Let's get started with the latest on the pandemic.
Today marks a new grim milestone for the state. There were more than 8,500 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Michigan today, and 116 deaths reported. A significant portion of that, 116, were due to a records review, but not good nonetheless. That pulls our case count to nearly 245,000 since the pandemic started, and 7,929 fatalities. All three area counties are on fire with coronavirus, with their cases per 100,000 people skyrocketing. In Macomb County, the daily new cases per 100,000 rose to 64. The county is getting more cases all on its own than the state did back in June. Oakland and Wayne are also in bad shape. Oakland is almost at double the case rate per capita. The Brown School of Public Health says should mean a stay-at-home order, and Wayne is in danger too as cases rise. As far as services, our intensive care unit headroom is vanishing quickly, and our positive test rate statewide is nearly 13%. That's up 2 percentage points since yesterday. Building on a story from yesterday, with the State House ending their session, a number of Michigan House members are now testing positive, apparently after an election night party. The kicker? Until now, there's been little communication, and a number of journalists that cover the Capitol, including Chad Livengood of Cranes, are sharing that they're getting tested after being in close proximity with these legislators. Key to note, and this has been corroborated with other interviews of ours, Republicans on the House floor are not wearing masks.
Jer?
Yeah?
I have a couple things I need to say about this.
Well, I'm going to sit back.
For the most part, I am behind the scenes, but everybody, I am the one who is listening and editing every episode and every interview with Dr. Paul and hearing what these legislators are saying and blocking everything that Governor Whitmer has done to try and save people's lives and keep them from getting sick has made me incredibly frustrated. They are supposed to be our leaders, and constituents look to our leaders to see how they are reacting to something like this. And when they see our state and federal leaders not taking this seriously, it means that they don't take this seriously. But this is very serious. We are in a global pandemic, and people are dying. And then on top of it, they've made it political. So you have people who don't even live in this state who are sharing pictures of Nazis and saying that Governor Whitmer is a Nazi because our medical department has made restaurants take people's names and numbers for contact tracing. And I see this and it makes me want to scream. And I do kind of scream, and it's not very pretty. It's not, because it's infuriating to me. People's health and welfare are important. And the only way that we're going to battle this and get over this is, yes, of course, a vaccine, which will create herd immunity as long as everybody gets the vaccine. And I'm not even going to get into the anti-vaxxers because I don't have time for that.
I don't think either of us have time for any of that. Look, there are 3 more people on my Facebook feed that tested positive today.
Yeah.
It is getting out of control in a very, very serious way.
This is terrifying.
And we're about to get run up against something where I don't think people realize. Like, I was talking with a friend of mine out of state around the concept yesterday that we're running low on staff. Every single state in this nation is running low on staff right now. And if it kind of scares people, I think that's the thing. Like, literally, I know people who are self-imposing their own lockdowns right now and moving to that. And that can't be good for the economy. But the reality is that virus is out there. Like, I know that that's not good for the economy. I know it's really tough when there isn't a stimulus, which people on both sides of the aisle say that we need. I should say both sides of the logical aisle. And then you've got this other side that isn't conservatism and it isn't liberalism. it's incompetence.
Living in fantasy land.
Right. It's magical thinking. And too many people are dying for that magical thinking. Have a conservative plan. I know some things have been floated with, oh, we'll leave it up to the counties and things like that, but that just isn't practical and that isn't reality anymore.
No, it's not, because the problem is that people think that they're not going to get it because they're magically immune to this. And then they don't know that they've caught it because of the incubation period. And then they go and they keep spreading it around because they don't know that they have it. Hey, Jer, I know we've talked about COVID enough, so let's move on to the next thing. And I know we were going to talk about development news, but I really kind of want to sidestep that for a minute and talk about this latest election challenge and how bad it went for Trump and his lawyers.
Again, this isn't liberal or conservative. It's reality versus fantasy. And this challenge is, I think, the best way I would describe it, and it's being charitable, is Clown Town. The TLDR is that a Michigan judge has denied the Trump campaign's motion to cease the certification of vote in the city of Detroit. You read this document, this opinion, and I'm going to link to it in the show notes. He said that if the election challengers had attended orientation, they would know that what they were witnessing was routine. Like all of these things, like it goes through the list of highlighting all of these allegations, and basically none of these folks like actually attended the training for vote counting. It's just people out there. They literally said multiple times in the document about how allegations were not credible. And I know, Shianne, there was one that you picked out that you saw that caught your attention specially.
Yeah, I just happened to see this video of, I like to call her the food van lady, and she was on Fox News on Lou Dobbs, just kind of spouting out all kinds of things that she swore she saw, but wasn't really sure what she saw because she didn't actually see what was in the vans.
Like, she doesn't serve food.
No.
She was actually contracted by the voting services firm, Dominion Voting Services, to do IT work. Her name is Melissa Carone.
Yes. And her story just kind of kept like unfurling on air, like she didn't know what she was talking about. And I kind of feel that way with everything I've seen so far with the election. None of these witnesses that have signed these affidavits have like any kind of idea of what is actually going on.
Well, I will read from the judge's document. Quote, offering generalized statements, Ms. Carone described illegal activity that included untrained counter tabulating machines that would get jammed 4 to 5 times per hour, as well as alleged cover-up of loss of vast amounts of data. Ms. Carone indicated she reported her observations to the FBI. Ms. Carone's description of the events at the TCF Center does not square with any of the other affidavits. There are no other reports of lost data or tabulating machines that jammed repeatedly every hour during the count. Neither Republican nor Democratic challengers nor city officials substantiate her version of events. The allegations are simply not credible. And this is after this woman went on Fox News on Lou Dobbs spewing all this stuff. It's just not real. And I saw a post by Matt Friedman from Tanner Friedman talking about the misinformation with the election. And we wouldn't normally get into all of this stuff, but it's really centering on Detroit. And it's just clear to me that it's grasping at straws. As you and I both know people involved who went down there, who counted votes, who were part of the process. And the stuff that's coming out, I mean, I know that it's not going well in the rest of the country for the Trump administration, but there's a reason it's not going well here in Detroit, and it's because basically it's made up. It's fabrication.
It is misinformation, 100%. So over by Techtown on Cass and I-94, there has been a $40 million historic renovation, and it's finally complete, Jer.
This is 6011 Cass, and that's the new home to Tata Technologies' North American headquarters and a rather large branch of WeWork. Who knew, Shy, that that's still a thing, but it is. And they capped it off today with a 44-foot tall blade sign, which is kind of like one of those signs that stands out kind of perpendicular to the road, and they're very visible. And it's kind of reminiscent of the history of this place.
I saw the pictures of those that you shared on our Instagram page, and I thought it was really cool. And I really loved the renovation that they did. I wish we could go inside right now, but I know neither one of us are actually going indoors publicly.
Yeah, we got some photos from the developers to share on that one. And I will say on this that, Shai, this is one of your favorite architects.
I know. So do you want to talk about it? Because I'm super excited about it.
I can tell you're excited because yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Because Albert Kahn is one of your favorites, and he did so many buildings, and it's just been such a presence there near Wayne State. And here's the thing about it. I think people nowadays are so used to car dealership sales and service being these big, expansive, multi-acre facilities. But this is one that was actually multi-level in like a city-style building built in 1920. And another cool thing is they restored the showroom, which, imagine this, a car showroom on like an upper floor.
That sounds so cool. And all I got to say is, so they were going vertical before it was cool.
Yes, they were the original vertical goers.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, well, business-wise, there's some good news on this one. It's 150 jobs for the 20,000 square feet that Tata is taking over. There'll be 91,000 square feet of space for WeWork. Again, I've got those pictures up on Instagram. They're gorgeous. At one time, this was home to Wayne State's criminal justice program. And this project is another one by the platform right there in the New Center, Milwaukee Junction area. I know our next story involves the platform, too.
Yes, it does. So let's head out to the neighborhoods. So you remember the Obama gas station?
Oh, my gosh, I loved Obama Gas. I went to Obama Gas just on principle.
Yes, of course. You have to have hope at the Obama gas station.
And you know what? If you pay $20 and you only get $18 of gas, you'll get hope and change.
Ooh, I like it. So there is more Obama, and this time it's the Obama building.
Yeah, this is a $3.6 million project. It's a renovation of a historic bank at Grand River and Lasser. It was originally a People's State Bank branch and designed by architect C. William Palmer. And this opened right around the same time as that Cadillac service building, although they're quite far away from each other. It's that same era of building. This was in 1917. People don't realize that Detroit grabbed up a lot of little cities as it grew, and it was built 9 years before Redford was annexed by the city of Detroit. So that Old Redford neighborhood, it's called that because it actually used to be its own little town. Anyway, after this bank closed in 1931, the building became home to a Stein's department store. It's been empty for at least a decade. Some interesting things around this one. There will be 4 affordable loft apartments and retail spaces for first-time entrepreneurs. This one's kind of a smaller one. Like we were talking in the 100,000 square foot spaces before. This one's only 8,800 square feet in total. It's kind of cool to see this out in a neighborhood, though. That's a plus. And if you're wondering about the name, it was chosen by the community, which I think makes a ton of sense. I don't think if people realize this, but in the city of Detroit, Barack Obama is still pretty loved.
I'm super excited for this development, especially in Old Redford, because you have the Redford Theater, you have Sweet Potato Sensation, that's a nice little corner right there.
You're within walking distance of Sweet Potato Sensations with this one, Shai.
You are.
You would gain like 1,000 pounds. At least I would.
It's a good thing we don't live over there. But yeah, I'm super excited for this development because there's a lot of loyal people that live in that area, and it's a great little spot. So if you've never been over to the Old Redford neighborhood, I highly recommend it.
Speaking of the West Side, Shai, this week you made a trip out as the Detroit Dog Rescue is working on a new headquarters. It's a great little organization that's helping Detroit dogs find loving homes, which, as you know, is something close to my heart. You checked it out. What are the details?
Yeah, so I went over to the new headquarters for the Detroit Dog Rescue, and it's actually going to be located on Grand River, just west of Telegraph. And it used to be the Westcott Veterinary Care Center, and the DDR was gifted it back in 2017. So even though they've had it for a couple years, they've had to go through some, bureaucratic red tape, legal stuff, trying to get it, all the permits.
Projects take a while.
Yeah, they do. So they're getting ready to start the renovations on the building. And I got to take a little tour through and see what it looks like now, which is not very nice, but I can see the potential of this spot. They're going to take it all the way down to the studs, put in all new HVAC, all new electricity, all new everything. And they'll have a space for 60 dogs and an on-site adoption area so people can come in.
So not so small.
No.
Okay, I misspoke.
Yeah, so it's a lot bigger than their current space. It's like, I think they said it was like 5 times the size of where they are at right now.
See, I think that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So they can help a lot more dogs and new owners. So they said that the renovation is going to take between 6 to 8 months to finish. And then once it's done, it'll look amazing. And Jer,
Yeah,
I know you love mama doggies.
I do. I have a former mama dog.
I know. So here's this part is what really got me. Like, oh, I love dogs. I love adopting dogs, like all of that. But they're going to have maternity rooms for mama doggies and their babies.
Aww.
And so that way they can have like a quiet birth and they can have like a spot of their own. And it's super cute and I can't wait. So that's like one of the highlights. And then they'll also have a puppy preschool to help train puppies and get them used to sights and sounds and touch and like how to interact and socialize with other dogs and people. So that's cool. And then they're keeping the old operating room, but they're going to turn it into a training room. And then eventually, once COVID is all gone, maybe eventually in the future, they'll be able to have people bring their dogs for training. So it's super exciting. And I can't wait to see the final product.
All right, well, what do they need to do to finish this out?
Let's talk about money.
All things need to happen, right?
All things need money to happen. So they're currently raising $1 million to help pay for the cost of the renovation of the building and then also for the first year of operations in their new space. And right now, they are currently doing a fundraiser, and Bissell Home Care is matching people's donations up to $100,000 through the month of November. So if you donate now, your donation will be doubled by Bissell. So if you care about doggies and you want them to have a nice place to come and be rescued, and you have a little bit of extra money, I know times are really tough right now, but if you want to help, you can go to the Detroit Dog Rescue website, which we will link in our show notes, and help them out.
All right, before we let you go, I know Shianne's working on a special project. Might want your help for it. Shi, what you up to?
So right now, I am currently working on a list of small businesses for you to shop at throughout the region. So Macomb County, Oakland County, Wayne County, Detroit. If you have a favorite small business shop that you go to for your gift giving needs, please send them to me at shi, S-H-I, at dailydetroit.com. I've got a long list already, but there are some places that I just don't know about, or maybe they are new. So if you have a suggestion, send them my way, and I would forever be grateful.
I think it's important too, because Shi, our messages have been lighting up with local businesses wanting to get, just the word out about them. Things are tight right now, and we've been doing this a few years. I've never seen something like this.
Yeah, I already like to shop small anyway. So for right now, if I can do all of my shopping locally or through a small business, even if you are only online, send it my way. I will figure out a way to keep you guys in business too, because it's really hard out there. And I know I have a lot of friends who are makers and who own small businesses, and I know how hard it is. And I just want everybody to try and help as much as possible.
Well, thanks for coming along the ride on this Friday edition of Your Daily Detroit. A little different than we normally do, but it's good to hear from Shianne, isn't it, Shianne?
It's so nice to hear from me sometimes.
Key thing so people know, we are supported by our members at patreon.com/dailydetroit. If you've got feedback, 313-789-3211 is the voicemail. Jer at Daily Detroit is the email. And, well, that's it for today. I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Shianne Noserini.
Take care of each other, and we'll get through this together.